Hey, it's Brittany again. I wanted to remake my Maxi Card and First Day cover video just because I recently got my hands on some American First Day covers, and I really wanted to be able to show those to people and help them get a fuller idea of what's out there. So without further ado, what are Maxi Cards? What are First Day covers? A lot of Americans especially come across these terms in people's wish lists, and they're not necessarily sure what they are, especially because the United States Post Office no longer issues Maxi Cards, and they don't really publicize or advertise the First Day covers they issue. Let's start by taking a look at some Maxi Cards I have and what makes them Maxi Cards. First up from India, I have this woodpecker Maxi Card. Now there's three important elements that make a Maxi Card. You have a themed image, a themed postmark, and a themed stamp. The stamp needs to be on the front of the card, and the postmark needs to be something that relates to the stamp and the image. The image can't just be an enlargement of the stamp, it needs to be different but still related. So in this case, the photograph used here and the illustration here are both different. Another example I have is from Russia, and this is from the opening of the World Ocean Museum. Now the postmark is a little smudged, but there's a ship there. There is a sailing ship, a cargo ship? I'm not sure what you'd call that exactly. You have two kinds of ship on the stamp, and then you have this kind of adorable sailor cartoon that makes up the rest of the image. Together, all of these things are on the front of the card. They work together, they make this a Maxi Card. In comparison, this is a card that really looks like a Maxi Card, but I would probably classify it as a First Day cover instead, just because we don't really have a commemorative postmark going on, and the image and the stamp are really the same thing. And that doesn't make this any less of a collector's item, it's just that to truly be considered a Maxi Card, the stamp image and the postcard image should be slightly different. This is definitely following in a Maxi Card tradition, and it's still definitely a beautiful card. I absolutely love this one. First Day covers also come on envelopes a lot of the time, and I have this example from Russia, which again, if you're looking at just the front, this almost seems like it would count as a Maxi Card. You have this stamp, this is a medal related to Victory Day, you have the special commemorative postmark that has an illustration, and you have this dove of peace celebrating the end of World War II. What makes this a First Day cover and not a Maxi Card is that it's not a postcard. This is actually an envelope. Again, that doesn't make this any less attractive, any less beautiful, any less worth it to collectors. It just means that this does not qualify as a Maxi Card as opposed to these two cards. Now, I recently acquired some American First Day covers. So again, in the United States, the post office no longer issues Maxi Cards, doesn't really issue any kind of official postcard. There have been some here and there. Disney Villains got a run of postcards that was cute and matched the illustration on the stamp, but they weren't really placed like Maxi Cards. It was more of a themed card that was available. The United States Post Office, much like that Russian card we looked at, issues First Day covers on envelopes. This is just a side note, if you're ever going to send any of these, I would not recommend sending them naked through the mail like this if you want to keep this stamp clean. This is already postmarked. You shouldn't have to postmark it again, but the United States Post Office, and as with a lot of other post office, uses automatic machines that are just going to go through and stamp this, even if you put this in to be hand sorted sometimes. So I would just keep that in mind. If you're going to mail this, probably mail it inside another envelope just to keep it clean. So I'm going to hold this up here. You can see that this is a beautiful traditional black and white postmark. It's actually really crisp and clean, which leads me to think it was not stamped, it was just printed. And then it slightly covers the corner of the stamp. I love Mr. Rogers, so I really wanted this postmark. Now the United States Post Office kind of thought that these special first day covers weren't enough to attract collectors anymore. So they came up with something new called a digital color postmark. And again, this is really crisp. This has been printed on. It's kind of similar to the other one, it just uses colored ink. And the United States Post Office thought that would make these cards more attractive to collectors. I think they're cool. I enjoy them. But a lot of the kind of old-fashioned collectors don't necessarily dig these. But I don't know. I like them. Again, it's on an envelope, and this is just what first day covers are going to look like in America. I got another one for the special eclipse we had over the summer. This is, of course, the traditional black stamp. And then they also issued a digital color stamp for this one, which I think looks pretty cool. The yellow ink didn't come out so well where they tried to print it on the stamp. Oh, and this is just a little bit special. I don't know how much you know about these moon stamps, but this black disc here, if you warm it up underneath a finger, my fingers are usually cold, so I have to rub it to build up enough heat. But if you heat it up, a mug of coffee set on top of it would work well, you actually see the moon revealed underneath. That's what it looks like once you've warmed it up. That's what it looks like in normal inert stage. It's the first type of stamp the US Post Office has issued that does this, which was kind of special on its own and why I wanted to have a first day cover edition of this stamp. So just a quick recap. Maxicard, 3 things. Stamp, postmark, image, all on the front, all themed to the special thing. Often are released for openings of museums, of parks, of new stamps, holidays. You get a Maxicard. First day covers might be released with, the stamp might be timed to release with a special event like the opening of a museum or a holiday, but most of the time what you're finding is the first day stamp is issued, they are issued with these special postmarks, they are issued as collector's items the first day the stamp is in play, and they might come on envelopes, they might come on cards, but mostly you're going to be able to tell the difference from the lack of a special postmark and from matching images. Again, doesn't mean they're worth any less, it's just a different type of card. Hope that was a helpful refresher, and I'll hopefully see you in another video.